This might be a combo story. Superman, the suit, and the Justice League thing. Looks like we got a leak of David Corenswet in the super suit. And it's I think I like it. It's super unique. I mean, obviously, remember this, okay? Look at this suit. Remember in a movie,
like OG.
in a movie though, you have like coloring and like there's overlays. This is just a straight up picture of the colorful suit. I don't know if it's going to be this colorful in the movie because then they do like tone mapping and stuff in movies, but it is pretty OG. He has the underoos. He's got the whole thing, and it has the Kingdom Come S, but it's not the Kingdom Come S with the black background. This is like classic Superman, and they're just using the Kingdom Come S, which is super rad. It still could be an origin for Kingdom Come. It could be his origin, and he changes the logo as he gets older or something. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Man, I like it. And this is the first I'm seeing of it because you messaged me a little bit ago, and you're like, oh, the news dropped, and so I hadn't even had a chance to look at it. And I mean, he's got the look, man. And that is just like it doesn't look like a pumped up suit. It's not like he looks jacked in that thing, and it looks like the original.
Yeah.
And I'm vibing with it. Like you said, it's so vibrant and bright, and where it's like I remember back when Shazam came out and the images leaked of him in the suit, and it was clearly they had like given him extra muscles and all this stuff, and it looked absurd. And I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be like the worst thing ever.
It is actually the S that he teased. It's the same S that was on the placards in their table read, except for the placards at different color S's depending on, the character. We never saw Corenswet's placard, but I'm assuming it probably had this color.
And I saw a thing the other day, supposedly James Gunn teased the S like almost a year ago or something, and none of us noticed.
I made a video about it a year ago when he first took over the franchise, and he posted this comic book, the Kingdom Come comic book, with, if you notice, that exact same S. And then he had a picture of a guy, some like stuntman in that same suit. Well, what if they're doing Kingdom Come, but it's not the Kingdom Come book? What if it's the origin of Kingdom Come? What if it's Kingdom... Like, in the original comic book, we never actually saw his origin. We just assume his origin is the same as other Superman's origins. What if we're going to see his origin? And who knows? If it's super successful, maybe in 15 years, we actually get to a Henry Cavill Kingdom Come version of this. I mean, it could happen, right? Corenswet and Henry Cavill look very much alike.
Yeah, I would be on board for that. I'm so curious because there's, we get versions of James Gunn, right? There's the more controlled James Gunn, and then there's the James Gunn who used to work on trauma films and was like making movies for like goth edgelords, so it's I'm curious with him having Superman, like he can't go full gun, he can't do what he did with Suicide Squad.
Right.
So I'm super curious, but everything he's been sharing, like everything he's been sharing so far makes it really feel like, I mean, he's an old school nerd. So I'm hoping that he goes that route and gives us what we deserve out of Superman.
You are 100% spot on. We had a very similar conversation last week. And I was like, James Gunn is the master of taking that like tier G, tier 3, tier 4 character and make him just the hero, right? The polka dot man, the condiment man, the rat guy, even Nathan Fillion's like limbless, whatever guy. I forgot the name of the character. He's a, peacemaker. Characters that not most people don't really, there's no fan base for them. They're just part of other people's stories. And maybe they're a little ridiculous, but he gives them a character. He gives them a backstory. He gives them a voice, and he makes them awesome. But this is not Polka Dot Man. This is top tier, grade A, the original as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure there's others, but the one. This is Superman. This is the same guy that on every nerd conversation I ever had about every single character was, but can they beat Superman? This is the original. This is the OG. This is the top of the superhero mountain here. This is not Rocket Raccoon. So can he do the same thing with a character that is so widely known and so vastly loved by so many people? That's the question. And I'm here for it regardless because James Gunn has never let me down. Never, not once.
Right.
In fact, one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie I cannot wait to share with my kid, but she's got to be at least 16.
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say? Slither.
Yep. Freaking love it. It's the shit. It's so good.
I got to do a Criticus review. It is one of those movies that you think you're just going into a horror movie. Next thing you know, it's science fiction. It's an epic fantasy. And you're like, what is happening right now? How did we go from like this little town getting, horror movie into a whole space epic? It's crazy. James Gunn really manages. He always brings the heat, dude. Like every single time. At the very, very least, I'm entertained by the guy every time. So I can't wait, man. And, I love that he's going sort of full boat with the with a lot of the characters, like, Hawk Girl's in already, Green Lantern. Yeah. The casting looks great. Someone was complaining. By the way, guys, we got to pick our battles, okay?
Right.
Someone was complaining about the race swapping of Otis. Stop. It's not even a secondary character. It's like a third character. Right. He's like one step above an extra. Calm down.
Look at our Lois casting. Look at our Jimmy casting. Like, I mean, and our Soups casting. Like, I mean, even just those top three. Like, they all
Metamorpho, Green Lantern. Right. They're all perfect. I'm all about complaining. You guys know me. I love complaining. It's like my number one thing to do. My wife hates it. If I don't complain, then I'm just going to sit here and just fester until my head explodes and you're going to be a widow. So I have to complain. And I love complaining. But when I saw that Bounding in the Comics thing, where they're like, another race swap, I'm like, calm down. And that's coming from me. Come on. But one more thing on this story, and I found this interesting. Apparently, this is more interesting than most people think, because everyone just sees this as a headline, but I don't. Superman Legacy could already be setting up the Justice League. I'm not joking. Or I guess Justice Friends, or Justice League of America, or the JLA, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it would be called in that universe, but let's just say the Justice League, okay? And the way we know is that, according to the Ohio Department of Development via comicbook.com, Superman Legacy is set to film scenes in Cleveland and Cincinnati, which are two very important Superman-related locations in DC Comics. With the city being a place where they first envisioned the idea of the Man of Steel, it's possible the Cleveland skyline will be used for the DC Universe metropolis. But more important is the Hall of Justice, because the Hall of Justice is actually based on the Cincinnati Union Terminal. They're shooting in Cincinnati, and the Hall of Justice that introduced the Justice League is based on this real building. What are the odds?
Yeah, Brian? It's so close. The second that you shared the image with me yesterday, I scrolled down, I saw it, and I was just like, no freaking way. And I didn't even like see what they were saying about it yet. And I saw that image, and I was like, dude, that's the freaking Hall of Justice.
That's the Hall of Justice. 100%. That is the Hall of Justice. So we have Superman Legacy, all the characters you need to form aside from Batman, to form the Hall of Justice, the Justice League. Right. And one of the actual shooting locations that is registered for the movie is Cincinnati. And I would bet my rent that one of those locations will be the Union Terminal. And because why else would you be shooting in Cincinnati? For the real, come on. Who's shooting in Cincinnati unless you're using something specific from Cincinnati?
Well, and they've said that this isn't like a origin story for this Superman. So it would make sense that he is in some degree connected to, like you said, the Justice Society of America or something. Right. And even if it's just a tease of him being connected to it, or it's very possible.
Whatever. Yeah, I'm here for it. I don't want the movie to be so big. And here's an actual good point. If the movie is too big, if there are, too many characters, too many introductions, too many connections, a movie can only be so long. It's not a miniseries. Right. It's not a TV show. You don't have 9 hours to introduce every character correctly and every concept and every connection correctly. So they need to be careful. They want to tease the Hall of Justice? Great. Cool. But the movie needs to be about Superman. It needs to be a Superman movie. You can introduce these characters and these places and then fill them out in other movies down the road after you've made a successful Superman Legacy movie about Superman. Not about Lois Lane, not about Guy Gardner or, Metamorpho, or pick your name here. These need to be supporting characters, connections, and teases at best. The story still needs to be about Superman. The villain still needs to be Lex Luthor. Facts. That very first introduction needs to be your villain, and that needs to be your superhero, and those two characters need to be your main focus. It cannot be all the tangentially connected characters that you are throwing in the movie. So I hope that's not so big that we've forgotten that.
Right, and I don't think Gunn will. I mean, like we said, he's never let us down, and I just don't. He's already seen DC do that exact thing, and trying to rush the Justice League and all of that. So I just don't see him, screwing that up, because he's already watched the DC universe screwed up one time.
James Gunn is the studio head. So he's making the movie, and he's literally the studio. There's no one to blame but you, James, if this does not work, bro. It's literally you and your best friend running the studio, and you're making the movie. You're the writer, the director, the producer, the studio.
We don't need like exploding heads and people getting ripped to pieces and the trauma gore factory. We can just, as long as he removes that part of James Gunn from the equation, I think we will freaking kill it.
Wolverine 626 just said Superman Legacy is now just called Superman per James Gunn. And I looked it up, my dude, you are not wrong. Drop the Legacy. This literally came out an hour ago. James Gunn revealed that his new Superman movie will simply be called Superman.
I guess, sure. I mean, we've already got several movies called just Superman, but I mean, you know, how many movies do we have called Batman, I guess? I don't know, or whatever, you know. I don't necessarily have a lot of beef with it. It is interesting that just dropped. Clearly, everything is just pouring out right now.
Yeah, today is a weird day. He said, Overjoyed to be announced start of principal photography on Superman today, February 29th, which just so happens to be, and coincidentally unplanned, Superman's birthday. Right.
Yeah.
There's no motherfucking way that's just a coincidence. It just happened to be his birthday, which also happens to be leap year. Stop it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Get out of here.
Say you planned it. Be like, I'm such a Superman fan, I effing planned this. And I'm the studio head, I could do whatever the hell I want, so I made sure we started the first day of shooting on Superman's goddamn birthday. Like, own that thing, dude. There's no way that you just happen to start on the one day that happens every 4 years. The odds of that are astronomical.
So do you think that picture is a Fortress of Solitude tease? Is that what we're getting there with all that snow?
It's got to be. Look, James Gunn doesn't play around. Everything is a tease, right? There's a reason why this modified Kingdom Come logo is covered in snow, which is where the only place we can think of is the Fortress of Solitude. By the way, awesome. He literally has control of every single aspect of it. Like, bro, it's either going to be amazing or not, and
awful.
Or awful.
Yeah.
There's no in between, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm super stoked to see it happen. Hey, if you like this clip and you want to see more, then click right here and come check out the full, almost 2-hour live stream where we cover amazing topics every Monday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you there.